Okay, I think we are live. So welcome everyone at home. I'm just gonna get my computer so I can follow the messages. And give me one more minute. Today I invited Lisa.
Hello.
And Andrea.
Hello.
And they're gonna help me out with the asana clinic today. So the asana clinic is the idea that my brother asked me for a program to soothe, strengthen and heal the lower back. And I've also had at other times people approach me and go like, help with the lower back. And I was thinking, yeah, so this Saturday's practice can be all about alleviating pain, strengthening and stretching the lower back. So it's called the asana clinic, lower back. And then also interconnected with that is Ayurveda. So probably the first hour or so is going to be, some gentle practices. And then there'll be a little cut so that my brother and other people that aren't really that super into Ayurveda or crazy yoga stuff, that you can just wrap it up. But for those of you who dig stuff like this, you can just stay with us and there'll be more practices and a little bit of some talk. You can do some notebooks and we'll take it from there. We announced that it's going to be from 10 to 12, but we have no idea. We probably won't be that long, but we just want to make sure that you know that this is not a fast fix or, just something like, 40 minutes of exercising. This is not a snack, this is the whole damn meal. So we are doing these events or experiences online here as really like immersing ourselves in the practices of yoga. So you're gonna need a few props for the practice today. Probably something like a few pillows and blankets. You want to make sure that you can make something that is pretty tall, like this. You're also going to use a chair, and just a regular chair, 4 legs, an armrest or whatever. And you're going to use a belt. Andrea, can I? Okay. In case you don't have a belt, a yoga belt at home, you can use a towel, a blanket, or even if you have a bed sheet, something like a piece of fabric that you put up on the foot for the leg stretches instead. Cool. So a very warm welcome to everyone. I was looking the other day at my at my bio of my practice, and what I realized was that I have taught about 10,000 yoga classes since I started teaching in around 2099, it's the summer of 2000. And the number of students is between 20 and 30 students in each class, so that's anything between 200,000 and 300,000. Maybe I'm not that good at math, isn't it? It's just a huge amount of people, yeah. On top of that, teacher trainings, more than 15 teacher trainings and workshops, and so throughout the years I've had the incredible fortune or luck to just be able to look at bodies like knees and lower backs, and I've had the experience of people coming for classes and be like, oh, my lower back is a bit painful, a little stiff, and then addressing that with certain poses and testing out certain things, and then afterwards like maybe it was better, maybe it was not. But that sense of like exploring and experimenting, I've had a massive amount of opportunities to do that. So I'm going to share with you some of the fruits of my many years of laboring in the yoga community and teaching. So before we begin the practice, let's create a comfortable seat. Close your eyes for a moment and place your hands on your knees or thighs. Just take a few full inhalations, long exhalations out. Recall the last time you just felt really comfortable and at home in your body, in your physicality, in your architecture. And take another few inhalations, long exhalations out. Just with each inhalation and each exhalation, you just kind of come more at ease, or even come more into yourself, arrive more into yourself, into the sensation or the awareness of fingertips and toes, knees, feet and knees, hips, thighs and hips, lower back, belly. Maybe up the chest, the shoulders, the neck, the jawline, the face. And as you soften, it's not a sense of collapsing. As you relax, it's not a sense of letting go. It's a sense of releasing wherever you encounter over-efforting. You can think of it as that you come to a more economic or sustainable seated position. And then from there, you can imagine that, we are sitting here at the studio in Copenhagen City, and you are at home. And so we need to create a place between us. I've been contemplating the Sanskrit word bindu for a few weeks now, and a bindu means a point in the universe from where the universe was created or sprung. I also spoke a little bit about the shala or a mandir, a temple that is etherical, which means it's not made of a physical material. It's kind of out there, a point in the universe, a temple, an imaginary temple where we can meet and practice. So just take a moment to imagine that you are here, but you also step into the Sarva Mandir, the universal hall of Hamsa, where we can meet and practice. And arriving in the universal hall, in the etheric hall, we also can chant a mantra to just get things going. I'm going to do that call and response. So I'm going to sing out a few lines of the mantra, and then you can sing that back to me. Place your palms together in front of your heart. Jyota se jyota jagao, Jyota se jyota jagao, Satguru jyota se jyota jagao, Satguru jyota se jyota jagao, Mera antara timira metao, Mera antara timira metao, Satguru jyota se jyota jagao, Satguru jyota se jyota jagao. And then the verse, He Yogesvara, He Gyanesvara, He Yogesvara, He Gyanesvara, He Sarvesvara, He Paramesvara, Nitya Kripa Parasao, Nitya Kripa Parasao, Satguru Jyota Se Jyota Jagao, Satguru Jyota Se Jyota Jagao. Exhale, release the hands down. So on my computer I can see a few comments, and one of them is that the camera is turned upside down. And I think my screen is on what's called screen lock. Do you know how to move that? And you can see the code for my phone is on the paper there.
On there?
It's on the lock down there. So how is it at home? Do we need to unlock the screen, or? The thing is, we can't turn the phone
You can
once
turn it.
we've done live streaming, so we need to unlock it.
Okay, rotating phone.
So we can at least lie down, and you guys at home, you can just kind of lie down on the back.
I think maybe you should come and... Because it's live here. I mean, I'm just... it's live streaming, but I'm not sure if just by doing this...
It's just we can't turn it
Okay.
once we're live streaming, so it has to be like
Oh,
this.
okay, so
And
you have your codes and stuff.
yeah, I don't know, there's not a lot to do about it. Okay, so just lie down. We'll take it from here. You're gonna lie down on the back. You're gonna bend the knees and place the feet on the ground. And just clear the yoga mat from blankets and stuff. I've placed Lise and Andrea differently so that you get the view from this point and from sideways also. So you're gonna bend your knees, feet on the ground. And the first thing we're gonna do is we're just gonna breathe before we start to do any sense of, or any type of strengthening or conditioning or releasing or stretching. We just kind of wanna feel into the lower back a bit with the breath, with the awareness. And the lower back is actually pretty difficult to feel. In many ways, the sensory input that we get from the lower back, particularly if there's pain, can be a little muddy, a little confusing. But as we think of the midsection, we can move to the front, because most of us, luckily, we feel the belly a lot more easily than we do the lower back. So just begin by breathing into the belly a bit. Inhaling and exhaling so that the belly moves up and down. And then from the belly, let the awareness move to the side, to the waistline, relaxing on its way as awareness and breath and energy just moves from the belly to the side and on to the lower back. So feel your body on the ground, feel the back of the pelvis, the back of the ribs. And not necessarily that the lower back is on the ground, it's maybe slightly arched off the ground. But feel a bit from the belly to the sides and to the back. It's almost like you wrap a blanket of warm awareness around the midsection of the body. For those of you who are used to moving a bit more, don't worry, there will be movement. We're just going to begin the healing endeavor with some form of awareness exercise into the area that we're going to address or move. And then something as simple as hugging the right knee to the chest. Extending the left leg out on the ground. And breathing into this shape and form a bit. Keep releasing the belly. Keep softening to the sides. Keep releasing the lower back in the sense that whenever you encounter over-efforting, or if the lower back already tightens up a bit here, just kind of let it know that it can release a bit. And then you can rebend the left knee, place the left foot on the ground, and just embrace your hands on the back of the right thigh. And just kind of make a little bit of circling or turning the right foot into the sky. Then circle the ankle a bit. Good. And bend and stretch the knee a few times. And then you can also circle the knee. So to do that, you can maybe release the left arm out to the side, just support with the right arm, and just circle the knee one way. Maybe you can cup the kneecap, Andrea, with your right hand. Yeah. And just relax the leg and then take it into the hip joint. Just kind of circle the hip joint, yeah. Good. And then exhale, release. Place the right foot on the ground, arms out to the side. Breathe here a bit. Do the other side, embrace the hands on the back of the left knee. Hug that to the chest, embrace the hands on the knee, hug that to the chest, extend the right leg out on the ground, and breathe from the belly to the sides. And from the sides to the lower back. We tend to have a lot more connection or sensation with what happens in the belly than we do in the lower back. But imagine this blanket of awareness wrapping itself around. Wherever you encounter over-efforting, let it go. We will be putting forth the right amount of efforting, but not over-efforting. Bring the right foot in again, foot on the ground. Embrace the hands on the back of the left thigh and just start by circling the lower leg, the ankle, kind of keeping the knee steady, keeping the thigh bone steady, but moving a bit into the lower legs. The foot has a tremendous amount of bones, so does the ankle. The lower legs has two major bones here, and then the thigh bone, one bone. So think about moving the small bones of the foot, the two bones of the lower leg. Good. And then you can release the right arm out to the side. Left hand on left knee. And then take it into circling the thigh bone, the one bone around. And it's a ball in socket joint, so that's why it's so cool to do some circling one way or the other. Breathe awareness from the belly to the sides and to the back. Beautiful, release that. Place the foot on the ground, arms to the sides. And just again feel the soft, warm awareness from the belly to the waistline to the lower back. If you're starting to feel more nuanced, the lower back, instead of just feeling the lower back as a big chunk or a big white spot on the map, then you start to feel more, the sides, the lower back, the middle lower back, the upper, the nuances. And then you're going to lift your right foot from the ground. Bring the knee on top of the hip. And bring the right knee at a 90-degree angle. And then just cross both your hands, fingertips like this, and place or push the crossed fingertips or the hands onto the knee. Depend a little bit on the length of your arms. Okay. Now press the knee into the hands and use the hands to press against the knee a bit. And don't overdo it. Most of us has a tendency to go like, okay, now, I'm just gonna effort away to such a degree where the jaw tightens, but kind of feel the breath and make it a sustained, like a few kilos of pressure, a few kilos of pressing back, and kind of notice what happens to the hip flexors, the waistline, the lower back. Good. Exhale, release that, and shake the right leg into the sky. Shake, shake, shake. Freedom. Boom, boom, boom. Good. And then place the right foot on the ground. Okay. Good. Cross the hands. Place them at the left knee. And press against the left knee. And find a sustained power where you feel something toning, something exercising. We're doing a little bit of strengthening and conditioning the hip flexors here. These are the muscles that run from the thigh bone into the body and up the lower back. They play or can play a crucial role in the health or alleviating pain from the lower back. Good. And then exhale, release it, and shake the leg to the sky. How did that feel?
Good.
You're fine?
Yes.
Good. So you can do one at a time again, or you can do both at the same time. So lift your lower legs up, one hand on each knee, and then press the hands against the knee. Press the knee into the hands. Allow for an almost invisible curve of the lower back. And don't over effort. Make sure you can still breathe, and make sure that the jaw doesn't tighten. Good. Release the feet a bit, and then breathe energy into the feet. So it's almost like the feet are expanding like the tissues of your lungs. Very good. Exhale that. Perfect. Walk the feet out to the sides of the yoga mat. Put your arms overhead in a V formation, and then just start to rock the knees playfully from side to side. This can help the psoas or the hip flexors release a bit. This can help the lower back release a bit. Okay. Good. I'm not sure if the camera is still on sideways. I hope you're figuring this out at home. I'm not having my technical support today as I've had the other days. So rock the knees to the center, bring your knees to the chest. And as you bring the knees to the chest, just rock a bit from side to side also with your hands on your knees. As you rock from side to side, from the belly to the sides, to the lower back, see if you can begin to feel more nuanced the lower back. So it's no longer just one kind of big section of lessened sensitivity. Perfect. Roll to the right side and slowly push up to seated. Grab a blanket and a pillow and create some cushion for the knees as you come onto all fours. I think most of you would want to use a blanket for that. And Lisa, can you face that way? And Andrea, can you face the crown of the head to the camera? Okay. You're going to come onto all fours. So please, that's på alle fire. Yeah. We're getting a little help here. And you're moving about at home also, don't worry. Once you come onto all fours, place your hands a little bit wider, knees and feet hip distance apart. You can take off appropriate amounts of clothes, which Andrea is doing here. Lisa is doing it. But just put the jumpers out of the picture, because I noticed the other day that as we took off clothes, it became more and more messy. So at home, make sure that the space is clean and neat around you. So once you come onto all fours, again breathe a bit into the lower back. And notice that the lower back is such a unique posture for kind of releasing lower back tension. If you already have lower back issues or pain, you should probably feel that something as simple as coming onto all fours is going to help the pain disappear a bit. And then we do cat-cow. So inhale, arch your back by lifting the tail and the crown of the head. Good. And as you exhale, round your back into cat pose. As you inhale, arch. Good, drop and soften a bit. And exhale and round. Good. And you can go a little bit back and forth in the rhythm of the breath. If you reverse the breath, or if you accidentally breathe in a different way, that should be fine too. Good. And then exhale, return to neutral. Put the big toes together, your knees apart, and soften back into a child's pose. And with this child's pose, see if you can really walk the arms out in front, so there's a little bit of some lengthening to the lower back. You also see if you can exhale the belly back a bit, depending very much on what the conditions are for the belly. And we're not talking about the belly being flat or whatever. It's kind of like exhaling the pubic bone back a bit, or the lower belly back a bit. Very good. And then inhale, rise up onto all fours again. Okay, so we'll do a little bit more moving. So first we want some strengthening and conditioning that's going to send some circulation into the tissues and muscles. So inhale, extend your right leg back. As you exhale, hug the right knee to the forehead, forehead to knee. Inhale, extend it back. Exhale and hug it in. We'll do that 3 more times in the rhythm of the breath. So more than it's about being able to fully hug the knee to the forehead, it's about the movement of the leg and the movement of the lower back, and how you kind of feel that it sets in motion a little bit of some strengthening and conditioning to the front, a little bit of mobilization and movement to the back. Good. Perfect. And then the next time you extend the leg back, just keep it back behind you. And then inhale, exhale, bend your heel towards the buttock. Yeah, a little hamstring curl. Good. Inhale, extend it back. Like you want to touch a light switch with the tips of your toes behind you. Click. And then exhale, hug the heel to the buttock. It's like you would do a bicep curl here with your arm, but you do it with the leg. So inhale, extend it back. Exhale, slowly bring it in. We just exercise. You are your own resistance by resisting with your thigh a bit. Inhale, exhale, curl it in. Good. 1 more. Inhale, exhale, curl it in. And this time also curl the toes in. Like you want to touch your own toes to the buttocks. Good. And then exhale, release that. And soften back into a child's pose. Just notice if your right foot, knee, thigh, or hip or lower back feels a bit different. If you are on, you could let me know in the comment section if the camera has turned. It doesn't look like that here.
Probably if you change like the position of the tripod.
Yeah, but I don't think, once you're live streaming, you can't really turn or do anything to the camera. Yeah, we should probably fix that before. I hope you can lock your screen at home and kind of like make it turn. Obviously more technical than I am. Okay. And then inhale up onto all fours again. Let's do the other side. Inhale, lift leg back. Exhale, hug it in. Inhale, lift leg back. Exhale, hug it in. Inhale, back. Exhale, hug it in. Just move a bit and feel the movement of the leg, the flexing of the hip joint, the movement of the sections of the lower back. Very nice. And then inhale, extend it back. Perfect. Now keep it back and imagine you touch the tips on the light switch behind you. Click. And then you exhale and just hug the heel to the bottom. Okay. Resist a little with using your thigh muscle. Inhale, extend it back. Exhale and bring it in. Okay, and bring it in a few times. Good. So by toning the muscles on the thigh, you can resist and make the movement slower and really get a little bit of the hamstring. I'm touching Lisa here, imagining I'm touching, so getting that muscle. I can see on both my beautiful models here that the hamstring actually bulks up a bit, and that's a sign that you are using it. Very good. Exhale, release that and relax into a child's pose. Feel the left side if it starts to soften a bit, if there's an increased blood flow, and really walk the arms out ahead to get that long lower back. And then we'll just do one more thing on all fours. So walk the hands back onto the knees and push yourself up into an upright position. Okay. Lift your booty off the heels. And just sidestep your right leg out to the side, forming a 90-degree angle. I've had a love affair with this pose, Padikasana, for years now. So inhale, stretch your arms to the sky. And as you exhale, just kind of side bend to the right. Inhale, back up to center. Exhale, side bend to the right. Just move a bit in and out, moving the muscles, moving the side body. Good. Very good. And then inhale, exhale as you come into the pose. Release your right arm down on your right thigh, left arm overhead. And just bring some space into the rib cage and a beautiful side bend to the spine. A lot of the muscles that run crisscross up along the lumbar spine, they can get very tired if they have to effort all the time. So on one side, they're actually getting to relax a bit because you squeeze them. You lessen the distance from one point where the muscle attaches and attaches. On the other side, they get to stretch a bit because you elongate the distance from, the two ends of where muscles meet bone. Well, meet tendon that meet bone. Inhale, back up. Exhale, release. And this time you can walk forward onto all fours. Tuck the toes under and inhale, downward facing dog. It's like I've been waiting for that pose. Bend your knees, move into freedom a bit. But particularly kind of feel up the side of the body, down the leg, the lower back hip. How does the lower back feel? Yeah. And then exhale, take it into all fours again. Very good. Walk the hands back to the knees. Push yourself up into rising camel, upward seated. Step the left leg out to the side. Stretch your arms to the sky with grace. Inhale. Exhale, pulse and side bend. Inhale, back up. Exhale, pulse and side bend. Continue that in your own rhythm. It might help you greatly to realize why we are doing things like this. So as you come into a side bend, when you come out of that, you have to exercise the muscles on the right side a bit. So inhale, as you exhale, side lean. Good. Now as you inhale and rise up, exercise the muscles of the spine as you pull yourself up. Do that a few times. Really use the muscles on the right side of the lower back. Inhale, lift up, exercise them. Good. Okay, next time, exhale. Stay down with your left arm. Reach the right arm overhead. So after a little bit of that exercising and contracting, you now get to lengthen and bring freedom to the tissues on the sides, on the back. I sometimes take the pose a little bit more to the front. Yeah, that gets me more into the lower back muscles. It's almost like a look inside, and I take the arm a little to the front. Good. And then inhale, rise back up again. Exhale, bring the hands down, walk them forward front on the yoga mat. Tuck the toes under and do downward facing dog by just lifting the hips really high and walking a bit on the spot. Okay, and again, so we get to feel into the hips, the pelvis, the lower back. Good. With one hand, put the blanket to the side. Good. And then walk forward to the middle of the yoga mat as you walk your hands back towards the feet. Bend your knees quite a lot also. And kind of come into a standing forward bend with knees bent. Good. Relax the head, the neck, the shoulders. And then hands on hips. Inhale, rise up to standing. Stretch tall. And exhale, hands together in front of chest and heart. Okay, relax your arms down the sides of the body. We're just going to look at Tadasana. Tadasana means simple, like a mountain pose or a standing pose. So it's almost like the legs are straight, but the knees are not pushed back for locking. So find straight legs, but without overstretching. Good. Find the pubic bone a little, kind of like as low as the top part of the sacrum on the back. So it's actually a little, it's almost like the neutral position of the pelvis is slightly tilted forward. Good. And then the chest and the rib cage lifting and expanding. Shoulders broad, neck soft. It's like that inner cylinder of the neck is rising. Very good. And bring your hands to your hips. And imagine you can grab the hips and kind of push them down a bit. You can also just take your hands and just make the imaginary action of pushing down. So bend your knees, push down, sit your booty slightly back, not necessarily too deep, but just take a moment to ground or push the energy down. And then bring the hands to the hips. Good. Imagine a big clock around the belly, where 12 o'clock is up at the base part of the sternum, 6 o'clock is at the pubic bone, 3 and 9 is to the sides. And then what you're going to do is you're just going to drop down the pelvis to 6 o'clock, and then 12 o'clock, and then 6 o'clock, and then 3 and 9. So we kind of like take the pelvis a little. You can do 4 o'clock or 11 o'clock. Just kind of get a little awareness, but keep pressing down with your energy as you move side to side, up and down. Good. Inhale, push fully up into standing. Stretch your arms to the sky. Exhale, side bend to the right. It's kind of catching hold a little with your right hand on the left arm. Good. And then back stepping your left foot behind you for a chandra, a little bit behind and over to the right. A little bit of a chandra stretch, a moon stretch. A little forward rolling here just to access more into the sides. Good. And then inhale back up, slide the leg back, arrive standing. Release the arms down. Perfect. Push into the ground again. Bend your knees. Imagine the clock. Hands on hips or just hands on belly. And just move 6 and 12. 3 and 9. 1 and 11. Or a little bit side to side. So that's a lot of awareness also, rather than just necessarily a lot of acting or action. Good. Inhale, push to standing, reach it up. And then exhale, side bend to the left, catching the right hand with your left arm and just really beautifully breathing, pushing the energy down as you lift and side bend. Good. And then back step the right foot, and cross behind. Good. And then as you really breathe and lengthen the right side, even bow in a bit. Yeah, see if you can move that more onto the back of the right lung. Very good. And inhale, return back up to center. Good. Release that down. Nice. Okay, perfect. Take the feet kind of yoga mat distance apart. Turn the feet just slightly in. It means the outer heel is in line with the yoga mat. Good. Bend softly to the knees. Again, ground your energy down. And keep grounding your energy down as you inhale, lift your arms to the sky. And exhale, fold forward into a standing forward bend. Good. Keep bending the knees here. And at home, we're going to use the chair in a moment anyway, so if you need to support your arms or something on the seat of a sofa or a chair, you can do that. Okay, keeping the knees bent, feet slightly turned in. Good. Relax the neck, relax the upper back. Beautiful. Feel from the belly to the sides onto the lower back. And then hands on hips, ground your energy down. Inhale, rise up to standing, stretch tall. And exhale, hands together. Okay. Now step back and lie down on the belly. Because before we really get to stretch the back muscles, we just want to make sure that we use activity, strengthening and conditioning to kind of pump a little bit more circulation into the lower back muscles. Also on the belly, you can relax for a moment, two hands on top of each other, forehead on top of two hands. As I was posting the news of the asana clinic today, I did include an emoji that was a crocodile. And the reason why I included the crocodile is because we're going to do the makrasana, ikke macarena pose, but the makrasana. And makra means like a crocodile or a sea monster. It's a pretty interesting pose. We don't teach it a lot because it's intense. It's going to fit perfectly with our strengthening and conditioning of the lower back. Start by placing your hands on each side of the chest. And as you inhale, lift up into a cobra. Feel free to use the hands a bit for pushing. And as you exhale, lower down. Just do that a few times. Good. Ask yourself, where are you using muscles? So inhale, lift up. If your legs tend to lift a lot, you're probably using other muscles like more in the legs and hips. So inhale, lift up. And see if the legs can squeeze down as you do it. Exhale and release. We also tend to use muscles more on one side of the back than the other. So inhale, lift, and see if you can lift equally on the two sides. Exhale and down. Okay. Now do fingertips very light on the ground. It's almost like the fingers are not touching at all. Just the outer skin cells of your fingers. Good. And then squeeze the legs down, and then inhale, lift up your upper body. Just contact with fingertips on the ground and lower down. Just the feedback from the fingers brushing on the ground. Inhale, lift up. Getting to use your spinal muscles. Exhale and down. Your buttocks can be toned and they can squeeze slightly, but not to the degree where you feel they squeeze in and block the lower back, but more to the degree where you feel they squeeze and become juicy. Exhale and down. Okay. We're also going to take a leg lift along though. So extend your arms out in front and put fingertips on the ground. Bring them out chest width apart. So look at Andrea there, so there's some width there. Good. You're gonna inhale and lift your right arm and your left leg. And then stretch a little longer. Extend the arm. Extend the leg. Good. Extend the cylinder of the throat and the crown of the head. And then exhale and down. Perfect. Let's do the other side. Inhale, lift your left leg, right arm. Opposite of before. Is it right leg, left arm?
Yes.
Is that right? Yeah, thanks. And now extending. Usually my arm can grow a little longer, but my leg, that's from the waistline, outer leg, extend, exhale and down. Perfect. Pause and relax out of that for a moment with two hands on top of each other, forehead on top of two hands. So we want to make sure that there's a strengthening and conditioning happening before we get to do a lot of the stretching. Releasing. Good. Extend the arms out in front again. Good. And this time we're going to add a little bit of something to it. So as you inhale, lift your right leg, your left arm. Don't lift it too high. Lift your head along. Good. And then once you are up there, inhale. Open your left arm out to the side. Your right leg out to the side. And as you exhale, hug into the midline. Squeeze in. Maybe even past the midline with your arm and the leg. Inhale. Open up. Exhale. Few more. How is that working on the strengthening and conditioning? Inhale, lift up. Jesus, smile. Exhale in and relax. Now I want you to relax down and breathe into the lower back a lot. Softening. If you need to shake the hips a little side to side, you can do that. Release the legs. I'm trying to follow here on my computer, but my computer is saying, I hope we're live streaming. My computer says it's having troubles playing the video. Okay, extend the arm out. In case we're not live streaming, we're just having a cute yoga class. Arms out, left leg rising, right arm rising. It's fine. And as you lift, don't overdo it, but then inhale, open out to the side. And then it's the hugging in that we really want. Squeeze in past the midline. Inhale, open, expand out away from the midline. Inhale, hug it in. One more. Inhale, expand. Exhale, hug in. Nice. Let's do one more, I think. One more. Inhale. And then exhale. And relax down. It's one of the things that have made me lose faith in humanity is when yoga teachers say, last one, and then it's not. It's like, what? Okay. Hands on the ground. Push to all fours. Downward facing dog. Good. And then breathe and move. Feel into you strengthen. Strengthening is and pulsation is also muscle squeezing and releasing. There's a lot of new blood flow into the area. So we're gonna that'll help us release the tissues with the stretching. So we can't just do stretching. We need some relaxation also, some making sure that we don't over effort. We need to move through the tissues with some strengthening, conditioning, and then we need to elongate it. Okay, walk forward into a standing forward bend and rise up into standing. Good. So you come up to standing at home and here. You're gonna go get your chairs. And you're gonna do all four legs of the chair standing to the forefront of the yoga mat. My students are moving out of the picture, coming back in. Good. And you're going to place it so that the seat of the chair is towards you, the back of the chair is away from you. Yeah. So look at Lisa from the side, and Andrea's going to do it to the front. Good. And Andrea, you had a message from a really a sweet girl, Patricia Sarpa,
Yes.
saying that the girl in the white is so beautiful. We of course assume that
my sister.
the rest of us is very pretty also.
Of
Yes,
course.
sister, I love
Patty, please write something right about the others.
it. Do you say you can speak Spanish too?
Sí, Patty, escribe algo, por favor.
Yeah.
Para la
Is your sister in
Yes.
Venezuela?
No, she's in Spain.
Okay.
Mother.
Yeah, I mean, be safe in Spain. But so your family is in
Yes, in
okay.
Spain.
All in Spain, huh?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, I hope that
They're safe.
for the best.
So far.
Good.
They're healthy.
Okay. You're gonna stand in front of the chair, and I think leaning down and grabbing your hands on the chair first, and then just stepping the right foot a bit forward, the left foot a bit back. And make sure that they are kind of hip distance apart, just for you guys at home. So, and can you almost step the right foot over to the chair of the leg there? So you step there.
Oh.
Yeah, and almost so that's good hip distance, yeah. Feel free to bend the knees a bit so that they don't hyperextend, but also feel free to stretch the legs out without kind of locking them back. Holding onto the chair, just begin by breathing from the belly to the waistline to the lower back. Have a sense of shifting the hips or the weight a little bit more back as you lengthen your heart forward. Imagine that when you sit down many hours a day, the compression of your body weight onto discs. So this is decompressing the spine. You can kind of move the hips, the tail a little side to side, good. And you can move the rib cage a little side to side. So it's like the tail goes to the right and so does your head. Good. And once you come back to center, just stay here with the breath. Ground the back heel down. Ground the front foot down. Take an inhalation and then see if you can exhale and feel comfortable to place your lower arms down. So these are metal chairs. I'm not sure that that's the most comfortable for the skin. So how about we put a nice warm blanket on top. At home, very few people have metal chairs like that, so you'll probably be fine. And now it's going to take a few moments here for the legs, the buttocks, the hips, the lower back to stretch, to elongate the tissues, to bring freedom, to recalibrate the nervous system. Good. If you feel comfortable, you could bring fingertips down or hands down to the seat, to the leg of the chair, and maybe rest your forehead down. But at home, don't feel alarmed at all if you just want to stay on your lower arms. So the lower back is home to a lot of interesting tissues, and there are nerve cells there that register pressure and movement and all of that. And they can sometimes shift and begin to do the job of pain receptors. And as most of the nervous system shifts towards pain reception, it actually lessens, sensitivity or strength or actions that it can do. So we want to reclaim, we want to make sure that we shift a little bit from pain into feeling more nuanced the lower back. Feeling the discs, the vertebrae, the tissues, the structures, the breath. Good. Hands walk up on the chair. Inhale, push up into upright. Step the legs in and shake it out for a moment. Does it feel like it helps you get more aware of the lower back? Or yeah.
It's like opens.
You can bring the hands back there and rub it. The skin is home to a lot of, sensory receptors, and just kind of feel that. Good. You can bow down and grab the hands first, and then step the left foot forward, right foot back. I mean, in here in the studio, it's like absolutely, you have beautiful posture and grace of movement, but it's totally fine if it feels a little bit more like Gollum doing yoga. I would say a certain amount. I'm always a little hesitant, with my practice, because my practice is rarely kind of that beautiful. It's more like, oh, Jesus, So extend or stretch the legs, but stretching the legs without hyperextending. Very good. And settling onto lower arms, begin to move a bit. Feel from the belly to the waistline. You can do the little clock, so kind of moving the pelvis 6 to 12, 9 to 3, circle about a bit. Bring movement, circulation, and elongation into the tissues. And you can release the hands down the chair if that's more within if that's your level, or I'm not even sure I want to call it level, but kind of like if that's what you feel for today. Just remember that part of some of your lower back issues can be because of pushing and struggling and overdoing. So it seems, crazy that we apply some of the qualities that has brought us to a place of pain, that we apply that in the attempt of healing. So kind of, I wouldn't say hold back a bit, but just watch your over-efforting. If that's what's brought you into trouble, don't use it here. Very good. Hands on the chair, push yourself up to seated, up to standing, and step it in, shake it out for a moment. Perfect. So apart from back of the legs, the back will also go a bit to the front again. For this one, Andrea, can I ask you to bring the chair to the back part of the, and also you're actually good, just ask you to turn around, Lisa, like that. And you're going to turn the seat of the chair towards them. You're going to take your second blanket and you're going to wrap the second blanket up on top. This is an exercise for my brother. I told him to do this for his hip flexors and his lower back. Okay, so you're going to stand in front. If you have a wall or something to hold onto at home, you do that. If not, you kind of take your right leg, you put the right knee on the seat of the chair. You can bow all the way forward, Andrea, can you show that as you do that? And then put it up. Okay. You're going to hook the foot up on the chair. Step a little in front with the other leg. Good. And then you're going to cross the hands on the front knee and push yourself to upright. Good. Okay. Front knee can bend a bit. Back foot can hook on the chair. Yeah. And then you lift up. Maybe bring your hands to the hips and just lift your body as tall as you can. Front knee can bend a bit. Okay. Now as you lift your upper body as tall as possible, see if you can bend a little bit more into the front knee. Maybe the foot has to step slightly more forward. Okay. Now also stretch your right arm to the sky and just let that beautiful pose come up the right side of the body. Okay.
And holding or?
And holding it can be cool. How does it feel here in the studio? Is something happening? Oh, you can go more into the middle, Lisa. That's better, yeah. And just step the left foot more out to the side. The further you step the front foot forward, the crazier the pose. And sometimes crazy is fine, but sometimes we don't. Crazy is not all that we want to go for. Okay, one more moment. Okay, sometimes coming out of that, I need to cross hands on front knee or bow all the way forward and step out. Okay, you can do that now, yeah. So you find your way, but just be mindful of the chair behind you, do not fall. If you do fall a little bit, don't just live stream that and post it, we love that. Okay, how is that for a standing thigh stretch? He's a sweating. Okay.
Can be also challenging for the balance.
Yeah.
Like,
But rather, if we want a little bit more, we could call this like, on purpose we destabilize a bit, so that it's almost like you need to use more muscle effort. You're probably sweating a little bit more than you are used to when we do thigh stretching, because a lot of the yoga thigh stretching are actually pretty passive. Okay, take the other leg back. If you need to bow forward or touch your wall, do that. Step the leg back. So we really welcome the fact that that it is a standing pose. So you have to use your leg muscles, you have to engage, you have to breathe, you have to ventilate. Good. And you kind of feel your way through how can you sit down with a little bit more gravitas. Yeah. But at the same time, lifting up the belly. Good. And then stretching the left arm up. It's all about what happens on the inner left thigh and up the left side of the belly and the groin. And lift up the left side of the spine also. Yeah. Lift the left side of the vertebrae and breathe. Push the back knee down and pull the back knee slightly forward. The foot on the ground, push it down and hug it back. Good. Bend, sit a little deeper. Lift a little taller. Keep ventilating. Wow. And as you exhale, come back out of that. Because since this is probably a new pose, we can't just do it once. We're going to come back up. Okay. So Andrea, you're coming quite far away from the chair, and I like that. Becomes a really powerful. Lisa, you're staying, but feel free if you want to wiggle a little bit more forward for the next. Okay. Bow forward. Bring the leg back. Yeah. Hook it up. So probably that's the right. Yeah. And you're stepping so far forward that you're starting to get kind of like quite a pose.
Okay.
I mean, just feel your way through it, but like, yeah.
Better?
Well, take it away if you really want to step the leg forward. Lift it up. The thing is that I want you to keep in mind that we are doing this to somehow release the muscles or stretch the muscles that sometimes cause some issue to the lower back. So if that's the intention behind it, rather than necessarily doing the biggest back bend ever, feel more about lifting hips and pelvis, about sitting down with gravitas, bending into the front knee, and then feel how it influences the spine. And breathe, let your arms rise up. Lift up the right side of the spine, decompress the discs. Keep the breath flowing. Press the back knee down and push the back knee into the chair and scoop it forward. And the front leg, push it down and drag it back. Yeah, and then lift up the belly button a little bit. Cool. And as you exhale, bow and shift to the other side. Okay. That's beautiful. Want me to help with the leg? That. Hooking the back leg. Rising. I can log in again. It's here. We're live streaming. It looks like live streaming. Good. Bring it up. It's still kind of turned. It's interesting. Patricia says, hugs from Spain. This is a great class. Your voice is amazing. Oh my gosh, I love my voice. I'll be like, in honor of Patricia, I'll do a little bit of some Mariah Carey later. And then bring it up. Now, what's with the spine? Because we can move a lot with the shoulders, but kind of move the lower spine. Move the sides of the spine. Yeah, get in there. What's happening down there? And breathe. Sit down with more gravitas, the weightiness. Okay, thigh. And it's a lot about the inner thigh. So think more on the lines or the tissues on still front thigh, but like inside of the front thigh. Yeah, like that. And shift back out of that. Now I just want you to move forward and do a standing forward bend so you can slowly sit your booty back on the chair. As you sit back on the chair, sit more to the front. You can look at Lisa, sit more to the front, but still sit comfortable. Place your hands on your knees and thighs, close your eyes, and just let the weight drop equally into the two sitting bones. Let the lungs find freedom. Let the body just for a moment assimilate and integrate the good stuff. Very nice. Good. And then walk the feet out to the sides of the yoga mat. Make a bit of space between the knees and just bow down between the legs and fold in and reaching the hands back. It's kind of an Ananda Balasana on a chair. Reach back and see if you can catch hold somewhere in there and kind of bring the neck, the head in a bit. Yeah. If you struggle a lot here, you have to slide your booty more back on the seat until your arms can reach. But if you have extremely long arms, just slide the booty a little forward and reach the arms. Okay, release the neck a bit. Very nice. And then walk the hands to the knees and inhale, push back up to seat. You're going to come all the way up into standing. You're going to put the chair away. And you're going to get hold of your two blankets or two pillows and a belt, a strap. If you don't have a strap, you can use a second. I'm going to kind of show this here with Andrea on the side. Lisa will be a little bit more over there. It should be fine here with not necessarily being on the yoga mat. You're going to build two blankets on top of each other. You're going to lie down on that with your feet against the wall. Sometimes I sit down and I extend the legs in just so we maybe want to go a little closer, like that. Good. And then you're going to lie down. You could do that by coming sideways or yeah. Now what you want to be able to do is you want to be able to push. I think we need the blankets in a little bit more. Sorry about that. So
short legs.
Actually what I do to measure is I sit like this, and then it fits if I lie down, if I have the main part of the blanket on my hip joint. So you're going to lie down on the back. You're going to press the feet in. This can be two pillows also. This is pretty high for you. Is that comfortable?
Can I try just one?
Just one, yeah.
Yes, right.
It's better. Because you also like a more petite body, like, me on two blankets, it's fine. It's like a little bigger. Yeah. You're going to keep pressing the left foot in. Lisa, do you have a...
No, I don't.
So how about we show this with a blanket? So I'm going to give you a blanket in a second.
Yeah.
You're going to press one foot into the wall. You're going to lift the other leg to the sky. Let's do right leg into the wall, left leg to the sky. And you're going to grab hold of the belt and place it up on the foot. I'm going to give you the blanket. Now for a moment, I want you to keep concentrating on the foot on the wall. So at home, you make a hammock and catch like this. Keep concentrating on the foot on the wall. Keep pressing into the wall with your foot, the mound of the big toe, with the inner heel. So it's really about extending the inside of the leg. So the left leg is on the wall. Yeah. Right leg is in the sky.
The other way.
It's the other way around. Thanks. Anyways. Right foot is at the wall, left leg is in the sky. And you can kind of take the arms a little wider and up on the belt or the blanket and kind of do a little bit of lifting, but at the same time leaning the shoulders and the chest back. This is not particularly relaxing. There's some stuff happening here. Good. And then cross the belt over into the left hand, right arm out to the side, and then open the left leg slightly out to the left, but really push in and down with your right foot and right leg as you're doing it. Okay, find a lot of power and strength in your right leg. Very good. Bring that back up again. And then exhale, release that. And put the left foot in next to the right foot. Good. Take a moment of just pressing both feet into the wall. And heels down into the ground. And then shift the other leg in, bend the knee, catch the belt or the blanket up on the foot, and then extend that up. Keep staying with how much you anchor the other foot in. That's good. Okay. So the foot on the wall, in case that's your left foot, kind of really ground that in and down and find some muscle power of the left leg. Not necessarily pressing the left knee down for hyperextension, or actually don't. But like it's almost like from the thigh and the foot, it's your anchor, and then stretching the left leg up. Good. Your hips are on 2 pillows or 2 blankets. And there's a lot of like settling down into the base with your hips also, with the back of your pelvis. And then shift it over into the right hand and start to open. Open just halfway out to the side. And just keep grounding the left thigh bone into the socket. The right leg down, down, down. And keep the breath moving. Just as much power to the right leg as you push and extend out through the left leg. And remember, this is all in service of healing and clearing the lower back. We'll take a moment here to feel from the belly to the waistline to the lower back. Inhale, bring that back up again. Release it. Put the leg down. And just a few moments of really pushing the feet into the wall. And the pelvis being really settled on the raised days or on those blankets and pillows. And then bend both knees, roll to the right side. And from the right side, push up to seated and move back in onto your yoga mat, lying down on the back. On the left side of the yoga mat, place the 2 blankets or the 2 pillows on top of each other. as you lie down with your legs extended out, just bring your right knee in and roll your right knee over to the left. So I'm going to put some pillows here. And pull the pillows or whatever up under the, like that. Okay. Now you can put the left hand on top of the right knee, but bring the right hand in for a moment and just kind of rub the lower back, the waistline, the ribs, even the right groin here. Make that release, and it's almost like you cause openings or the spreading or widening of tissues. You also want to come up to the ribs and maybe explore a bit on the liver here. It sits on the right side. And then inhale, extend the right arm out to the side. And now you get to feel all of that good stuff up the right side of the body and into the right arm. If you don't want to extend the arm out, you can kind of just bring the hand to the head somehow, but still just feel the release under the right ribs, the right waistline, the lower back. And then exhale and roll back out of that. Okay. And just, you can maybe come up to seated. We're going to come back into that. I just want to show you people at home, and you, this was something Isa showed me the other day. If you, in a universal stretch like we just did now, if you take one leg in front, see if you can be kind of like up like this, or maybe even up like this. So this is to influence that side of the body. The straight leg now, we kind of bend it, and we see if we can move it in a big circle back there. That's to release the thigh, the myofascial release here on the side. So lie down again on the back, roll the right leg over, bring it onto the pillow or the support. I think you're changing leg, aren't you? The right leg to the right leg.
Oh, we should do the same.
And then from there, turn to the right. Push yourself a little bit up on, turn to the left. Push yourself a little bit up on the left side. Okay. If you can just do arm down, Lisa is showing arm down like that, great. It can even be long arm on the ground and just the head down, good. But the higher you can push up, the more you influence the side. So see if you can lift up a bit. Okay. Now really extend the other leg, good. And then bend the knee. Now go really slow and press the thigh down. And now make the biggest possible circle, slowly, 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 with your leg. Circle the foot all the way over behind, close to the buttock. And see if you can circle the foot all the way over to the other knee and the foot. It's almost like it circles, all the way up to the buttock and then over there, circling, pressing the knee down. Now stuff is happening, and then it circles down. Keep pressing the knee down. Now, Andrea's coming a little lower now. Okay, that big circling. Keep pressing the thigh muscle down. The floor is giving you some acupressure. Okay, lengthen that bottom side though. Yeah, that's the circling. And then relax. Okay. Just lie down, roll onto the back, don't be alarmed. If that was a little difficult at home, fuck it. You probably slayed all the other poses, so. How did you feel? Did something happen around the hip joint and down the thigh?
Some energy.
Okay, so we're gonna shift the pillow to the other side. We're gonna bring the left leg in. Mette is saying, Mette is the creator behind Bette is the organic skincare. She's saying this is so good for her lower back. So roll to the side for some support. Rather than taking it straight into universal stretch, just put a hand down and then bring that back left arm in and go a little into, that's too fast and there. Just, go in and massage the ribs, the waistline. Breathing. Take your hand down and just feel waistline. There's a really unique way of entering into the lower back is by putting a thumb here and just kind of squeezing in from the side. This is some of the deep lower back muscles. I really do hope that as soon as we can start to get together again and touch each other, I want to teach some of the Thai Vedic lower back therapy. Very good. And then take it into a universal stretch. Reach the arm back. Breathe from the belly to the waistline to the lower back. Allow that white spot on the map to be more and more clarified, more and more. You feel the valleys, the mountains, the rivers, the forests. You feel the life that flows through the area, through the valleys. And you feel kind of like a warm blanket of awareness wrapped from the front to the back. I definitely feel more to the front. Would you agree with me on that? And that has to spread to the back. There's also some hugs from Argentina.
Oh my god.
Yeah, this is Carla.
Yes.
Have you heard that? Oh, the other sister. It's like with just your sisters, we have a great audience. Okay, now roll a bit more to the right. Come up onto side. Feel how high you want to lift. Extend the back leg more, the long leg more. Squeeze the leg more flat to the ground and then bend the knee and point the toes up. Good. Then start to circle the leg all the way into the butt if you can, and then over towards the other foot, knee and foot, down, and then back out again, and just make some, as if your foot could draw a big hula hopping circle in the sky. You decide if you want to go a few times one way or the other. I do feel that one way gets more to my thigh and outside. Okay, a few more. Move slow, really feel as you move through it. Spread the toes a little bit, just a little bit of life energy into the feet, and keep pressing the leg down so that you're getting some acupressure from the floor. And I love Lisa, she has casually her hand resting on the other buttock. Just kind of like, just feet testing it out. It would be more problematic if it was my hand resting casually. It would be like, this is good for my lower back. Okay, relax that, take it onto the back. Extend out. And that's basically the program. So we want something symmetrical, we want to extend the legs out, shift into the, kind of wiggle into the yoga mat. And then, like we did in the beginning, we can just very gently hug the knees to the chest. Feel the quality of the lower back, circulation, strengthening, stretching. There's also some new ideas when it comes to pain, that pain is really information. The body, the brain, the awareness is busy monitoring what happens in the lower back. But that chronic pain might be that the brain is forgetting to kind of turn those signals off or forget to listen to them or whatever. So that we might also, when it comes to pain, need to address nervous system a bit. Exhale, release the feet on the ground, arms to the sides. You can keep the knees bent like we did in the beginning. And just a moment of, from the belly to the waistline, to the lower back. A sense of letting the nervous system become more quiet. If pain is information, just kind of be aware that, okay, you got the message, you got the information. But it's not that you have to keep, or that this information has to keep flooding the system. It's not that we turn it off. It's just that once we, as soon as, and that's what I find with the body, is that as soon as this information is really understood or taken in, it begins to lessen a bit, because the body knows that it was heard. To truly listen, take in this information. The information from the lower back. But also see that it can start to change. Instead of being a haze or a low vibration just of pain that deafens out everything else, there are other voices, other flows of information coming from the lower body. And then gently extend the legs out. Sometimes if you do have a lot of lower back pain, it's actually difficult to relax with the legs out, and then you can just relax on the side or even keep the knees bent like you did. We'll do quite a short Shavasana here, a short relaxation. Just kind of 2 to 3 minutes of breathing, of softening, of letting things mature. Feel free to use a blanket to cover up. At home, don't go anywhere, because after this we'll do just a little bit more talk, and then we'll shift to more Ayurveda. Just very gently you can start to stretch and yawn and move a bit. Bend the knees, feet on the ground, roll to the side. I'll actually do another meditation on Shavasana later. But as you push up to seated, I wanted to kind of bring this into 2 sections, like an asana clinic with lower back therapy, And then maybe those of my friends who aren't really that much into the more esoteric parts of yoga, they can go like now, like bye, you know, and close it down. And then,
Should we try to flip the camera?
yeah, I think that's a little late now.
For the second part of it.
But there is something else though that, so let's just do that for a moment. Create a comfortable seat, sit, and just, we're going to keep this, so also know that for about an hour, or I think it was an hour and 5 minutes or so, that this program is, I've designed this to, first and foremost, awareness and releasing the over-efforting of the lower back. And then a bit of moving, strengthening and conditioning. And then some release and stretch to the areas that often cause some lower back issues. And then a little bit of that twisting and some release to the deep tissues or the gels, the myofascial release to thigh and outer hip, the twist, and just a few moments of relaxation. We hope that you can return to this and enjoy the lifting of awareness, strengthening and conditioning, and the stretching and healing of the lower back. And then palms together in front of your heart. Let's finish by chanting once a little Om. Exhale, release now. Because what I think we can do is we're gonna end this, upload it, and then start a new one in 5 minutes where we will see if we can unlock the screen. And also then maybe you could take a picture of this and upload it on the comment section.
Yes,
Or, yeah, if you, so actually for now, I mean, if you want to join for the next, it's more like talk, or you can stay, or else you can go behind and just kind of relax or sit with notes. Or, yeah. Thank you.